Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would address a topic that really needs to be addressed. And a lot of people would say, Jason, why does this need to be addressed? It should be common sense. I'm like, well, it's common sense if you follow strength channels. It's common sense if you follow the training of what elite athletes all over the world do. But it seems like a large number of people on YouTube do not grasp this. And this became apparent when we had this whole fiasco with Athlete X and everything happen. And a lot of people, his defenders, were coming in some of those videos and they were saying, well, strength only matters to powerlifters. Not everyone's trying to be a powerlifter. And it's like, what? Like, this is 2020. This is not 1950, guys. This isn't 1940, this isn't 1920. It is universally accepted and understood in all sports science circles and elite coaching circles that almost every sport on earth dramatically benefits from getting stronger and more powerful. Okay? And no, we don't mean the bench press. Well, it can be the bench press. We're talking all around strong. Being explosive, being able to produce maximum force makes you better at sports. And the problem is that when you say that, you have people who literally say things like, well, being a 300-pound power. No one said anything about being a 300-pound power lifter. But let's be realistic here. I mean, I literally had people try to say, well, being a 500-pound squatter doesn't help someone be a better athlete. I want you to stop and think about how stupid that statement is. Are you telling me Mike Tyson wasn't a better athlete after he got his squat past 500 pounds? No, I mean, seriously, that's a serious question. Was Mike Tyson a better boxer when he could only squat 300 something pounds versus when he was squatting over 500 pounds for reps? Was he better? Because according to that logic, he wasn't. That he got worse for it, right? He must have gotten slow by putting 200 plus pounds on his squat. It must have made him slower and weaker. Yeah, because he sucked when he was a champion, right? He was a terrible boxer. He was just ruined by the weightlifting. Right? How about Ben Johnson? Tell me Ben Johnson wasn't a better sprinter for having got his squat up past 500 pounds? If I recall correctly, Ben Johnson was a pretty decent sprinter. He wasn't half bad. I don't think getting stronger made him slower. If it did, we should all be so blessed to be so slow. I think a lot of us wish we were that slow. How about John Johnson? Are you telling me John Johnson, the MMA fighter, isn't a better fighter than the guys who are several weight classes lighter? Are you telling me he can't kick harder as a guy who can squat 500 pounds? Because he can, and he does. People say, well, it's the weight class. Why is he in a higher weight class? Because he has more muscle. How did he get more muscle? Okay, let me ask you a different question. If you're an MMA fighter and you move up 2 weight classes, how do you achieve that? By getting fat? Is that how you think they do it? Or do you think it's because they gained muscle and they gained strength and they gained power in the weight room? Do you think that man can kick harder as a result of having put the last 200 to 300 pounds on his squat? If the answer is no, then he should just lose all the muscle and drop a couple weight classes. If he can kick just as hard with less muscle and less squat strength, then why not just drop weight and go to the lighter weight classes and dominate? Because he wouldn't. He can't. He's better because he's stronger. This is not a difficult concept. Not a difficult concept. And people can't seem to draw the distinction between these things. And when we mention getting stronger, you have ignorant people who come in and they say, oh, well, we're talking about being a fat power lifter and just doing the big three. Is that what you think I do? You think that's what I do and what I have my clients do? I vlog my training, and you guys know what I do for conditioning. I can promise you I do a hell of a lot more sled drags and plyometrics than I do heavy squats and deadlifts. Now, I do all of them every week. It's all periodized into my own training, and I'm a dude up in my 40s trying to get my squat to 600 pounds this year without gaining any weight. In fact, I want to lose some body fat. So, what are you guys talking about? Well, in what world does anyone not understand that force production improves athleticism? Does it make you athletic on its own? No. But it's a factor. It's a factor. And people seem to have this bizarre idea that all power lifters must only do barbell work. That's all they ever do. That's all we do. Yeah, okay, just like all football players just throw and kick a football. That's all they do. You know how idiotic that sounds. Because that's what you're saying. That's the level of logic. The only thing a basketball player does is dribble and shoot basketballs. That's all they do. No, none of them do any other form of training. They don't do any conditioning work. They don't do any strength training. Guys who are just winning everything in the NBA, that's what they do, right? They just play basketball. They don't do any training or anything else. That's what you're saying. Yes, there are power lifters who do that. That is its own school of thought, which I'm opposed to. In fact, that's a heated fight that I have to deal with, and a lot of powerlifters have to deal with dealing with these other people. And some of them are YouTubers. Okay? That's a fight within our own sport. I'm on the other extreme that believes that powerlifters need to do conditioning work. That powerlifters need to jump. Okay, that we need to be in shape cardiovascularly, and it will improve us as an athlete. I'm in the camp that believes powerlifters should be athletic. So it baffles my mind when I see people who come in over to the channel and say things like, well, powerlifters aren't athletic. A lot of powerlifters aren't athletic. I agree. And there are a lot of us who would love to fix that, and we're trying to fix that, and we're trying to convince them that they need to be athletic. That it would be in their best interest to be athletic. Okay, that's its own fight. But if the claim is that all powerlifters aren't athletic, you should go argue with the powerlifters who don't do that type of training or promote it. Right? You don't come to the channels of the people who are promoting, hey man, you should be doing sled drags and weighted carries and conditioning work and plyometrics and speed work, and you should train all your weak points, and you should be strong at 37 lifts, not just 3. Okay? You understand the difference? Because that's what we promote on this channel, is that that's what we should be doing. To be a better athlete who happens to specialize in the big 3, right? Just like a football player is an athlete who happens to specialize in the game played out on a football field. But the training itself should be largely similar between these groups. The actual main strength and conditioning programming for these different groups and athletes should be relatively similar. Then with their own sport-specific training thrown in. Good strength and conditioning training is good strength and conditioning. Okay? It makes you jacked, strong, explosive, and conditioned. That's just good programming. And that programming can be very similar between a baseball player, a powerlifter, a football player, a shot putter, a sprinter. Okay. Hopefully people understand that. Alright guys, well that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.